Hello everybody, it is me, Brando Chia, back again with another Unfiltered series video, and today I am brought to you by some of the members on the server. We have Alucard, Yasuo, and Anna.
What's up?
Oh my god.
Now, of course, this is probably new for all of you, so I'll just explain simply, just literally give your unfiltered opinion, don't hold anything back, okay? No hard feelings here. So, the first topic I wanted to go about is, I guess, how diverse the format is here. Because according to the last major event, which was the Extravaganza remote duel, seems there were a lot of decks that got into the top 16. And if you guys are not aware, it was Cash, of course, Sprite, Runic, one Despia, one D-Link, Fratrick, Sword Soul, Mathmech, Marine Cess, and Drytron, which is surprising.
Well, they still got Ultimate, so that doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me either.
Which part doesn't surprise you in the top 16?
The Drytron.
The fact that Drytron's there, considering the fucking...
Combination they have with Sidra cards.
It's not really Sidra cards that they work with, it's more so the Cyber Emergency to search their shit.
Yeah.
As well as the Herald of Ultimateness that can negate everything your opponent has as its omni-negate.
Oh,
which is why I suggested we hit that with the ban list. Because Drytron with Herald of Ultimateness, fuck that.
Pretty much, dude. Like, Herald has no issues with getting, basically getting interrupted. It will always somehow find a way to end on Ultimateness. Now, for granted, it is a lot less consistent now that Ava is gone. But it still has Ben 10. Back at 3, right?
I believe you are correct, yes. I will have to double check that.
Yeah, well, either way, like, just the consistency boost and having Benton to 2 or 3, I can't remember which, is, it's pretty good. Now, for the other cards and the other decks, again, does not surprise me D-Link made it in there, because D-Link has been one of the best and most consistent decks that make it in the top 8, if not top 32 all the time, for just how well it can play through most decks. And for Runic, oh god, okay, I know it's not a deck, but it's more of an engine because they're just a straight up engine at this point, not really a deck. And that crap, it's playing against it the other day showed me, yeah, I could see why they kind of just say F you to your opponent.
Yep.
Okay, yes indeed. And
Get in the ball.
Let's see, I was trying to what's what I'm looking for? Try to reply to what someone said earlier. Let's see. Man, I completely forgot about that. Man, because I was looking at something. But so, would you say the diversity is a good or bad thing? If we're looking at both perspectives here.
Honestly, I feel the diversity is actually pretty good at the moment.
Okay, Yasuo.
For me, I feel the diversity is, your typical decks you would always see in a top 32 situation of an event. For me, seeing something like D-Link coming up again, though, is surprising. Because I don't know, these last couple formats, especially during tier limit, it was just non-existent. Everything was this non-existent. So from that perspective, yes, I agree with Alucard that the representation of other decks is great, but it's only a matter of time until everyone basically jumps on the Kashtira bandwagon. Because...
Yeah.
And that's going to be super annoying.
Okay, so you guys think at the next event, like major event, that it's going to mostly be more Kashtira than anything else?
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with that, yes. I absolutely think that Kashtira will be the next... Yes,
main deck.
It has its stop. You have the ways to stop it with Nibiru and all those other hand traps that you could think of. But the fact that it has the chance to just basically turn off your entire board, literally, turn 1, depending if they get the right hand, is insane.
Yeah. They can even stop your entire field. with the right cards, which
is
a
annoying.
lot of the decks will have the same cards to try and actually stop your opponent from doing fuck all.
Like Space Potato.
I don't mean with Nibiru. I mean they can lock the entire field.
Oh, yeah, that.
All 10 zones can be locked.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have seen it done.
Yep, and it's more of an extreme case, but it can happen. That's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Especially if it gets any more support on top of it, it might get more consistent to do that, which is, I think, the scariest thing.
No, I don't. Well, no, I don't want to see that damn meta deck get more support already.
Well, it's unfortunately going to happen eventually. Like, hell.
Yeah.
No, we need, like, support for archetypes that seem far more fun. Because I will put this out there. The meta can be fun. Yeah, but, like, taking quite a number of minutes just for one single turn is sucking up the fun out of the card game that a lot of us grew up playing as kids.
You're not wrong.
Meta or not meta, no more cash tira. Like, please. Konami, I swear. Just don't make cash tira. We don't need any more as it is. Considering the fact that they are, like, I don't pay attention to, like, the tier ratings, but I guess right now, due to what they can do, they're just topping off a lot. But I want to see archetypes that, like, are super forgotten, like Butter Spy. I want to see support for those monsters, because those, their artworks are really cool. But Castida, on the other hand, that's a different story. So, I don't know. Just no more Castida support, even if it's going to be seen. We really might not need just more of it, because it's going to be annoying.
Well, my thing with Kashtira is me actually having a deck that evolves the Kashtira cards because, spoiler alert, this deck profile will come out eventually. I tried to mix Red Eyes with Kashtira because the rank 7 engine. And even with using some Red Eyes cards, the deck is so damn consistent. It's not even funny. Even with the little support it has, it is dang near, like, if I had a full Kashtira deck pure, it is just going to rock it off, dude. Like, it's going to go from 0 to 100 real fast. Honestly, I do want to mention what Anna just said, and I agree that, you know, yes, I get it. Konami needs the money and needs the resources to, you know, basically make this, quote, meta happen by releasing the next busted archetype, the next busted thing. You seen it with Toss format with Sky Striker. You saw it right after that with Tier Limit and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's there. But
Strikers suck. But,
like, I agree with Anna, though, that a lot of it doesn't need to be that way. We can have more archetype support for, like, your casual anime fans that play, like, Master Duel, for example. Like, I'm a Dark Magician player at heart. That will always be my favorite pet deck and everything, all day, every day. And the fact that the playstyle is still revolved around 2015 and the support that it does get is just astronomically ridiculous in price. Like, Souls is still $25 a copy, and Chaos, well, for granted, just came out in Battles of Chaos, is still $50 a copy. It's like, it's those casual decks that need the fun support. But yet Konami is basically making you chop off both your arms and legs for archetypes that you don't really give a damn about in the meta.
For real, it's really
personally,
annoying.
I'd like to see Cyber Dragons come back to the meta.
Yeah. Oh god.
This is just me as a Cyber Dragon player going off, but I'd like to see them come back with more support. Yes, I get that they were a rogue deck, and if built correctly, still can be a rogue deck. But at the same time, they need more support to be able to.
Yeah, I really want to see at least a new fusion or a new Exceeds monster for Sidra.
I wouldn't mind seeing another Link monster.
Link, yeah, like oh my god,
like Link 3 or 4, like,
Link,
or even a
say
Link 1
Link
to work
3.
off with.
V
Core
level
Bayern,
1, yeah, or Nashter, or
More so for core, because you usually use Almirage to pitch core to the graveyard anyway.
yeah, if you're that type of
So-
player though, unless you play Pia.
That is with pure.
Oh, yeah.
That is pure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I like by pure, I'm talking about like just every card is related to Cyber Dragon, especially the extra deck.
Yeah,
but-
I get that.
Yeah, we get that.
Pure Cyber Dragons, they need it to be able to pop off with core.
Yeah. Well, I see
Yeah.
your
So
point
I
though.
wouldn't mind seeing a Link 1 for Cyber Dragons to be able to use that effective core.
Yeah,
Because
considering
you
the
use
fact
core
that
going to Repair Plant,
yeah,
and without Almirage, you're pretty much stuck. So
Fair.
they need Link 1 to be able to use the Repair Plant to go into the combos that we usually use with Almirage. So I
okay,
wouldn't
that's
mind
interesting.
having a Link 1.
yeah, it would be cool.
That definitely would be. And speaking of card pricings, depending on what deck it is, let's say if we're talking about a meta deck, should it cost X amount of money for it? Let's say for a low ball, 500 to 600 for a low ball. Should it cost that much for something that's meta?
Hell no.
It really shouldn't. Like, yes, I get I'm sitting on a fucking $1,000 worth of cards,
Stupid god card.
but you shouldn't be paying an arm and a leg for one card.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like, when I bought my Dragoon and DPE, they were both $100 each.
Oh
Which-
boy, you got 'em at
yeah.
the high point. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
I mean,
and this wasn't all that long ago either. Like, this was a year ago that I bought them. Like, you shouldn't have to be able to pay an arm and a leg just to buy the cards you need.
because it does get annoying.
It does.
like, I mean, I literally just bought a, what is it, number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord for $50 basically. $50 for an archetype that, yes, for granted, just got support, but has,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but literally is the main negation card for that archetype. Because everything else is
Yeah.
just bait sticks. And like I mentioned before with Illusion of Chaos and Magician Souls, it's just like, yeah, I don't think you should be... We shouldn't have to pay over, realistically, like $300 at a maximum for like a
For
meta
one
deck.
card.
You shouldn't have to pay $1,500, $2,000, whatever you have to pay for your maxed out raritied meta deck that you only play for a format, because by the next ban list or two, it's going to get completely killed off because, haha, it's meta. It has to die for the next archetype.
Okay, that brings up another question. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll let you finish that, and then I'll get to the next thing I was going to talk about.
It's alright, it's alright. It's just for me, at the end of the day, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Especially, like, let's look at the casual community here. Like, the people, like you and me, like all of us here, we like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! At a fun, consistent rate. We don't want to play at that competitive level anymore because it's like, that. Leave those for the pros. Leave those for the guys who want to spend their money on that crap. But
Yeah, and then it's like, so I will go off on that, like, go by that. It's like, nowadays, if you want to play casual and you still lose, there are players who will, like, say, oh, you're so lame, why are you playing a deck like that? Like, it doesn't matter if you're winning or if you're losing, it's just that if you want to play casual, let them be, because you don't know how that deck could be sentimental, because I should know, I grew up, like, with, like, super old cards. My first extra deck monster was literally Psychic Life Chancer, and the very first kind of cards that I started playing the game with was a Psychic deck that my uncle gave me. And by note, a majority of those main deck monsters I sadly lost somehow, but I still have the Synchro because that was the only extra deck monster I started off with. Because he was teaching me how to play for fun at first. But later on, as I started realizing that there was more than just like the dual monster system, and I got more like deeper into the information and the kind of cars that there were, I started thinking, how can I make a small, cute, casual deck at least decently enough to go against something stronger? Which I had help over the years after I met the vampire here. Yay! But like like I would say one of my favorite decks has to be my new Gem Knight Adama deck that I did not realize I could pop off on my own, because at first I only started playing Gem Knights because I started playing the archetype way before Adama was even a thing, and when I tried them out after they got striked out of meta, I read the ability of Dragite, which got really annoying to face against, and the combination that okay, look, I sucked at the game. I will say really sucked when I started. Not to mention when I started Nexus, I did not know how to build a deck. Like, I comboed several cards that were not supposed to go together because I was still learning, okay? But, it's just when I started getting a little bit more familiar with the cards, like Gem Knights, and trying out Adama, and thinking about, like, for Fantasia Maidens, for instance, but for the English people, it's Melodious Diva. Don't ever play solo or Tam Tam. I hate that. But no, it's just, come on. We're casual, okay? The Rising Uchiha server, come on, we just love to be casual, but if there are people who are, like, making the combination decks to where you just, like, can't do anything and it's taking them at least, like, 10 solid minutes just to pop off, then you know. And even if you do lose, they're just gonna be, like, telling you, hey, don't play that, that's not strong enough. I mean, like, you know, Uncle Yasuda, you like Dark Magician cards. I grew up with that too. Because the reason why I got into it for Magicians was because of Yugi playing them in the anime. Dark Magician looked cool. But once I realized that Magician Girls were a thing, I started playing those. And I tried to build, like, a fun version. But for the specific trap card of Eternal Souls, I just don't like it when it's destroyed, because it just destroys everything on your field. Like, all your monsters just get thrown into the Shadow Realm, and it's just like, I got mad. No, I'm sorry. Continue.
It's alright.
Okay.
I mean, I do agree with what she says. Yeah. So just to quickly wrap up what I was trying to say, so Brandon can move on. My thing is, it's just, yeah, the whole price thing, blah, 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 blah. And I agree. This is like, us casual players don't want to pay that kind of money. Like, even for...
No, we don't.
I mean, I was literally on websites looking for cards for Galaxy Eyes. And most of the cards that are key staples, I didn't even know they were only in OTS packs. So, of course, their prices are like almost $10 digit. Yeah, it's just like, for a deck that, again, is just rogue at the bare...
And hardly ever seen in play.
Exactly. Just...
Like, why would we have to pay so much for an archetype that hardly gets any play, that doesn't get any play as much as it used to when it was first aired, or comboed off with another archetype? Like, I've seen people do deck profiles of Sofa Chords and certain Magician Pendulums. I'm thinking, but I like to play it pure. Why are they so expensive when you just want to play it pure? Well, please, I just like to play casual.
That's another thing she just brought up. That's a good thing, actually. And that's the fact that most decks that are super casual, like Sofa Chord, Exo Sisters, well, before was it Martin? The Exo Sister Martin, or Marthas? What was it called?
Anna? Martha.
Before she got her reprint, she was like a $50 card for a key, a 3 of in a casual ass deck.
What?
Yeah, she was
Wait, are we talking about the same Martha? Are you talking about the pink-haired one?
Yes, that one.
Okay, so, yeah, that is Martha. Okay.
Yeah, that card was like $50, $30 a copy at one point. For
what?
A deck that wasn't even finished?
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
And Alucard also brought up another memory when he was talking. Brandon, you were there when I bought my Dragoon in Verte, and it was $100 basically for those 2 cards before they got reprinted to High Heaven to, and also Verte getting banned.
Yeah.
It's
Poor
just,
Corn Snake.
yeah, it's just like we as casual consumers. I mean, I get it from Konami's perspective in business. They need the money. They need to grow.
They do.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But from my personal opinion and feelings, I hate it. All right, now I'm done. Now Brandon can keep going.
Okay. So, while talking about decks and all of that, here's going to be the next thing. So, you know how, let's say, like, the whole Crucifixion list with the Thunder Dragons in toss format, where Thunder Dragons just basically were killed right on the spot, Sky Striker, Orcust, the big 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't it, I would say, how do I put it? Do you think a deck that was so dominant should just die out as soon as, they get hit like that much? Like, I guess the bigger question is that, let's say for Storm, let's say after like 2-3 formats or however long it takes for a deck to get hit, should the deck still be somewhat viable but not nearly as strong as it used to be? But I'm saying viable.
Yeah, like it should still be playable and all that. It doesn't need to get killed off completely.
And it's annoying whenever people say, "Oh, you can't play that deck anymore. It died the last format."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like, come on, it's not dead.
For those that think a deck dies when it gets hit as badly as that, you don't know how to play the deck properly.
It's not only that, but the other thing is that a lot of players, including myself, we will spend a lot of money on a deck. We will.
I know.
And the sad part of it is that when the deck gets hit, well, all that money that you spent, it was
worth for nothing.
Well, no, it was worth for its time, but only for a short period of time, not in the long term, if that makes any sense.
Well, can I go off something by that?
Okay.
Okay, so by how you're spending money on cards, and supposedly the deck that you're playing after buying, like spending so much money on those cards, just because you're playing with them physically doesn't necessarily mean you have to follow the ban list. Because for me, my uncles, we don't go by the ban list, so we play cards like TCG cards. We play them like Path of Greed. We play that card, and by that, we also go above the extra deck amounts of 15, because that's how we play. We like to do casual fun decks like that, because my uncles, the twins, they don't really pay attention to the ban lists and stuff, because they just only know, like, I have to tell them because I'm keeping up with a lot of stuff. But even before then, we would always play banned cards like Path of Greed, Ancient Fairy Dragon when it was banned, so many other banned cards. Because...
Okay, but with that though, Crystal, that's more so the casual players. You don't necessarily have to keep up with it. But
yeah,
we're
that's
talking,
what I
like,
mean.
Meta and all that. We usually do.
Basically competitive. Like, the problem is that, we buy... Let's say, for example, I spent $1,000 on a deck, right? The deck gets hit. Well, now, as a competitive player, I'm going to think, well, shit. Well, alright, I guess I gotta either make this work or I buy a whole new deck in order to keep up with it. Which, I would say for me personally, I am in the middle. I can go either or, because I've been there before.
Like, 9 times out of 10, when someone's deck gets hit, it's like, okay, well, I spent all this money on this deck, I don't want to touch it, I might as well just make a new deck from scratch.
Like, for me, like, you brought up Toss format, and another deck that got nailed in it was Pendulum. A deck during that time period that didn't even really need to be hit. Let's be honest here. Pendulum has done... At the time, and even today, they have done absolutely nothing. Pendulums have done jilts doing nothing in the meta or even being a rogue strategy.
Yeah.
The whole concept of pendulums is dead. That I hate to say it. I literally hate to say it, but it's true.
Like the whole mechanic is just, what's pendulum again?
Exactly, because Electromite carried that archetype.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the fact pendulums are dead, because I don't like them at all. But
DDD player.
Crystal, that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And even
Don't worry,
then, I
don't
don't
worry,
play
I'm-
DDD very often.
Don't worry, I'm a DDD player as well, so don't
Yeah,
worry
same.
about it.
DDD is the exception because they actually have more combos, in my opinion, than most Pendulum decks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even I know Pendulums need certain cards back off the ban list to be able to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, even take the Uchiha's custom ban list. I was the one that said, bring these cards back. Like, they need them. Bring them
They
back.
really
so they can
do.
actually
They really do.
Like, I could have said, hit these cards even worse than they are. But no, I looked past my personal bias for Pendulums and said, let's bring them back to help Pendulums get back up to where they were.
Yeah,
need-
because they really actually do. Because I don't remember the first Pendulum deck I started playing, but I know that when I picked it up, I'm like, I got confused at first about Pendulums. But then when I started getting the hang of it, I'm like, oh, okay, this, and this. When Sofa Chords came, I'm like, can we have more Pendulums, please? But they really do need a lot of cards to, like, at least help them pop off and return to their, like, previous strong suit. Because at this point, right now, they're basically dead because of how Konami is being right now, and
yeah.
how the cards were, like, used to be abused constantly, that they just got annoying. So, but yeah, I have to agree with you. Lots of Pendulum decks really need certain cards at this point, because I'm 50-50 with Pendulums. It's just that I really want to play a decently consistent, like, deck of Dynamist, Sofa Chord. I really want to see those, like, played consistently. What? But it's just that they got kind of killed off because Konami's banning cards that they really needed. But
Like, don't get me
No, that-
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind them hitting certain cards that are a quote problem. Now, the answer
Yeah.
Brandon's question properly this time. Yes, I feel that decks should be hit to control their power. For example,
Yeah.
the whole tier
For them
limit.
to be viable.
Yeah, to be viable. Let's look at tier limit right now. TCG standards. I mean, what? Brandon, what was the last representation of tier limit in that extravaganza?
Yeah.
It was literally there might have been one deck after the ban list in the next major event. I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was only one.
Well-
But before then, the Tiamat was the deck that you played. If you did,
Yeah.
then you just lost the tournament. You might as well just walk.
Did his mic just die?
I think
I
so.
think so.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
from
There we go.
from someone else playing it at full power, and also the tournament that we just hosted, which that was a horrible fucking idea.
Yeah, it was.
And also,
Yeah,
just from
yeah.
looking at videos of other people talking about tournament and how they say, yeah, this deck's way too powerful. How they just letting this thing live, which is the other thing I want to mention. Is do you think if a deck's like way too good, like I'm talking about like spiral level, like if we remember what spirals were when they were first
Yep.
released,
I
do you
don't.
think?
I remember.
I don't.
I remember.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
How
I
were
just
Why you
spirals
don't,
back
Crystal?
then? Oh.
They were bad.
they were the
Oh.
most tier 0 broken shit you'll ever go up against. There's a reason why Master Plan's still banned.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much.
I mean, even at 1, it probably would be good enough to bring it right back up to what it was previously.
Ah.
It's one of those cards that should not come off the ban list.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like that's what I mean. Like Konami does make good hits, but I
Yeah.
feel that sometimes
When they make them.
when they make them. But the biggest thing is
Fucking letting this mind live too fucking long.
like you kill an archetype like tier limit to the point they are to like you can barely say they're probably tier 2, tier 3, maybe at the maximum. Hell, I mean, depending, like, of course, we need to see all the representation throughout the year because obviously the current ban list we have now is still fresh-ish. And honestly, the viability standpoint of decks, I feel they should still be able to be played and still should be able to be, just be able to be used at all. Like, if you kill a deck like you did, like, Toss format, you just murdered Sky Striker Thunder Dragon, Pendulum, Orchist, you take away that...
Guard Dragon, too.
And Dragon Link. You basically just kill the great consistency of those decks. Like, don't get me wrong, something like Arcapane and LP, I get the argument. Oh, but they broke those decks. I get that. But at the other point, it's like, at least I can look back now at Dragon Link at its maximum power. Yeah, Arcapane was the biggest issue. LP, I can look at it now reflectively saying, you know, I know this is probably going to get real heated with the community, but it's like, I really don't think it was that bad. LP
it can come back now at 1 and be just fine.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's one argument, is that, let's just all be honest here, any card really gives you some kind of free special summon that LP does. Now, that's my argument. Like, I've seen, like, Cash, for example, they have cards that say, hey, just special summon this, special summon this, hey, just special summon this. Like,
and lock off your opponent.
And how the hell is that not hit at all? Like, I definitely do think Cash is gonna get hit, hopefully. But
they really
my argument is that, okay, what if, like, here's actually one thing I did want to mention. There was one ban list where they tried to take something, actually a couple things off the ban list, put them to 1 to see what would happen. To be honest, wish they would do that more. Just say, okay, here's a card for the month. Oh, okay, painful choice. Okay, put it to 1. See what the fuck happens. Just do it. Who cares? If people don't like it, hey, whatever. At least it, I don't know, gives it a whole, yeah. Makes it more interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is the card that broken where it just cannot come off?
Okay, so I know we've been working on a ban list for the server.
Quite a number of days.
Yeah, so that's essentially what we did with it. Like, okay, what cards do you think we can come up with and take off as a test to see what'll happen?
Colossus! Tomahawk. But only reserved for the Xyz decks, like we said.
Yeah.
Certain cards would be locked to certain kind of mechanical decks.
Yeah.
Like Tomahawk. Oh, sorry.
Like, that was the reasoning behind some of the cards we took off. It's like, we'll test them out, see how they go.
Yeah.
Like, would have been nice if Colossus managed to stay on there, but unfortunately, Hydra had his bias and let it stay.
Yeah, which was kind of ridiculous, I have to say. Sadly.
Well, actually,
wait a minute, I thought we agreed. I thought we agreed he stayed at Thunder Dragons only.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, we did, but if you look on the list, it's not there.
Yeah.
That was Hydra's bias.
Okay, that brings the next question here, which is, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players having their bias views towards other decks, archetypes, whatever. Like, I definitely think all of us have some kind of bias towards one deck that we just, or one kind of deck that we just cannot stand. Like, for me personally, I do not like playing Stun or Floodgates. I think they're annoying, they're not helpful, they do not make the game fun for me. I think they should be gone for good, because they don't have any place in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't.
I can't even disagree with you.
Like, some Floodgates aren't too bad, but then there are others that are like, you can't play the game. It's like, they need to go.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, here's how I categorize how bad a Floodgate should be gone. If the card is something where you have to play something that you normally don't have to play to get rid of it, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, basically, if your own deck by all means can... Yeah, like, if your own deck cannot get rid of it or take care of it by its own means, and you have to bring something else that you normally wouldn't use, but you have to play in order to get rid of it. I mean, look at Cash, for example. You have to use Nibiru, you have to use Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, evenly matched, Dimensional Barrier, Kaijus, Lava Golems. The whole list goes on. If players are playing that many cards just for that one deck, I'm sorry, that deck is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you just mentioned something really good there with the whole, like, the side deck cards that people need to use. And, like, that's, like, another thing, going back to, like, the pricing thing. It's those hand traps that you have to specifically use to beat those certain decks, especially the Floodgates. Like, oh my god, like, Whenever a Floodgate deck is the best thing ever. Oh, well, guess gotta get my copies of Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, all that beautiful jazz.
Cyclone.
Yeah, Cosmic Cyclone. And
Yeah.
just to deal with those problem cards. Like, what's that? I know there's that Inspector Border card that basically just says, nope, normal summon, you can't do nothing. What's that?
Yep.
But I'm trying to think of, like, what's that one fossil card? I can't remember.
I was looking up that the other day. I know when you're talking about.
But
I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so anyone in the Yu-Gi-Oh community who knows what this card is and knows the name of it, you know what I'm talking about. That basically says, once it's summoned, neither player can special summon. Period. Blank. Good luck.
That's boring.
And they probably usually equip it with like something like Moon Mirror Shield, where even if you try to beat over it, it will be 100 points over every time.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just those
Okay.
decks.
Let's use a beat stick.
It's something like that, and especially something like Soul Drain, or Skill Drain and Soul Drain, that annoy me, where it's just like, oh, yep, I'm just going to turn off your entire field, and there's nothing you can do about it. Good. It's like, okay, great. All right, game 2, signing in my back row removal, just to never draw it in the game anyway.
Or if you do, they have all the answers.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like the whole bias thing. Like there are people who just don't like Sky Striker. There are people who don't like Thunder Dragon. There are people who don't like Branded. There are people who don't like Dragon Link. There are people who don't like Floodgates like me. Like the list goes on. Like basically everyone has some kind of bias towards a certain thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I have none.
Oh, bullshit.
but here's the thing. Let's say, for example, I'm trying to bring up a card, like just in a regular card shop. We're all talking and we're chilling, and if I dare bring up, say, hey, like let's just use the classic example. Ready? I think Maxi could come back to 3.
Ooh.
You don't know what Maxi is?
Oh, that one. I
Yeah.
mistook it for something
Yeah.
else. My bad.
Just
I'm
for
sorry.
example, even though personally in a TCG, hell no, it cannot. But let's just use that example. Why is there such a divide between people who say, "Oh yeah, come back at 3," and people who are like, "Oh no, it fucking can't."
I'm one of those that know it fucking can't.
I'm also at
Well,
that. No. Because I've
like
seen the OCG. We've played Master Duel. We know how toxic that card is. It just basically, you either play into it, or you stop your play and get killed the next turn.
Or
Yeah,
deck out
that's
the opponent.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that too.
I say deck out.
Well, you get the. I guess that's a bad example, but I guess that's the more recognizable
Oh
example.
my god.
Dragon Rulers. Let's do the Dragon Rulers. Let's say they were all brought to 1, even though Tempest already had 1. Let's say the rest of them, they all came to 1.
I mean, I'm pretty
How
sure.
many times? Hold on. Here's a question. Sorry. How many times out of 10 do you believe that everyone's gonna freak the fuck out when they find out that all of them are at 1? How many times out of 10 do you think they will freak out?
Oh, they'll probably freak out quite a bit.
For like the casual 2014 player who quit that format, probably really badly. But I think, in my opinion at least, a lot of people are going to be like about it for the most part, for the players who are still up to date with the game. So I'd probably say like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah, like myself personally, I think they can come back at 1 and it wouldn't do much. But that's because I know where the game is and where
Yeah.
it was back then.
Basically, we know what the meta is currently, and we know if they came back, it will not do anything.
Pretty much.
That or very little. Like they'll get played maybe at 1 event, and after that, you won't hear them again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cards like that where people, as soon as they see like, oh, this card's back, oh fuck, no, I don't want to deal with this shit again.
Yeah, like, that was my initial reaction when I saw Yatagarasu come back. It's like, oh, fuck.
But then you realize, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't matter. We have
Yeah.
search cards now.
It's like, oh yeah, right, we've got all this now. It's like, that isn't as bad as it used to be.
Now, back then, yeah, it was the worst thing you could do.
Oh, I know. Like, I played back then when that was originally there. Like, I remember the pain of having to deal with it. That's why
No.
my first reaction was, "Oh fuck, it's back."
Well, let me tell you this. The first deck. Well, actually, no. It was the third meta deck that I played back then. It was the Magical Scientist FTK, and apparently I was masochistic enough to still keep playing after that. Because let me tell you, I could not play at all. Like I would try to. Well, I mean, round one, yeah, he just had it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to set a card, and pass. And he was just like, oh, okay, I'll just bust your back row. Let's see, I'll set this, pass it, I'll flip up, attack into it. Like,
Yeah.
basically, it all cut right back to, hey, Magical Scientist, Capital Turtle, summon all of this, drain your life points down. Bye-bye.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And the sad thing is that the dude who was playing it, he's like, oh, why am I playing this shit?
Like, the last Tier 0 format I played in, non-ironically, was Tier Limit. Because any other format I played in, at the maximum, it was Tier 1. So,
Yeah.
experiencing Tier Limit, for the first few matches I ever came back at the Yu-Gi-Oh!, it was like, alright. I mean, the archetype looks cool at least. And then, obviously, the no ban list showed, nope, this deck can stay on the ban list and honestly get at least power crept to at least rogue. Because oh god, we all saw the footage. You all saw what happened. Hey god, that sucked.
That was brutal.
That was really brutal.
That's why I'm still suggesting to not add losers brackets at all unless there is not that many people, which, yeah, that's just my opinion.
Well, that's a whole different topic for another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, that's just basically my point. I just feel that cards that they would take off or just go do whatever.
Damn it, Evie.
Like, let's just say tomorrow they took off, honestly, Thunder Dragon Colossus. A lot of people are going to freak the hell out because, oh my god, it's Thunder Dragon Colossus. What are we going to do? He's back. He's going to stop me from searching my deck.
He's not an issue,
But
though.
if it's at 1, it's not a problem.
It is.
Master Duel has proven that. The OCG has proven that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, but a lot of other Yugi tubers, they're all making predictions and also saying, hey, this could come back at 1, or this could come back at 1. Hell, there are still some limited cards that could go to 3 and it won't do a damn thing.
Exactly.
They're correct. Like, it won't. Back when they used to be strong, it won't really do much now because of the new cards that we keep getting due to Konami. So there's not really much of an issue anymore as they used to be.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm not. You know how this is the controversial discussion? Like, my controversial take is that I feel that the Exodia pieces, not the head, can all come to 3, and it still wouldn't make Exodia that much better.
Yeah.
That's debatable. You seem to forget about
Exodia
the
Incarnate.
Obliterate and
Oh.
Incarnate thing. Which is why I made a comment the other day when we were talking about the ban list. They should go to 1 and do not bring them back to 3. Because you're giving Legendary Exodia Incarnate fucking shit ton of attack right out the gate.
Oh.
Because you're running them all at 3 except the head.
Honestly, I have not seen an Exodia deck in a long time. Or, like, specifically what he just mentioned, the Exodia Incarnate stuff. Like, I have not seen that or played it since, like, 2017, I think.
But yeah, we
Yeah,
need
that was
to
a long
put
time
the
ago.
Exodia pieces back at 1 because of that. Having them
They
all
are
at
at
3
1.
except for the head. No, I mean talking about the Uchiha ban list, Crystal, not
Oh,
TCG.
okay. Okay.
They need to go back to 1.
No, I was actually
because
talking about the TCG ban list.
You are nuts.
Oh, I know I am.
Like, I'm surprised no one has played that yet with the Legendary Exodia Incarnate.
I mean,
Just
Isn't
because
that-
it's like, hey, this is the thing you can do. Like,
I mean, I might be the first to do it. You never know.
Isn't it the level 10 with like 0 attack and it's just like plain out
That-
Exodia?
yes.
I think I
Legendary
actually
Exodia
have.
card gains 1,000 for each Exodia piece in the graveyard.
No, I have
can
that
be
card
unaffected.
actually.
Yeah,
I
so
have
do
a
I.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, damn,
Yeah,
And
I
it's
think I
also
still have it too,
unaffected
actually.
by card effects.
bruh.
But yeah. So let's see.
Like, even when I brought that up to Brandon the other day, he's like, "Oh fuck, yeah, that is."
Yeah.
Wait, okay,
Yep.
okay, I know this is off video topic, but don't we have till tomorrow to finalize what we want off and on the ban list?
Ban list has already been finalized.
It's already been
Yeah.
finalized.
What was the 27th comment then?
I don't know. I forgot. I wasn't paying attention.
Everyone on this video is going to be confused what I mean by that.
We'll have
that's-
to look afterwards. So let's
Yeah,
get back
that's-
on track.
yeah, back on track.
That's
Yeah.
our.
All right, I'm
That's our
still
admin
gonna
stuff.
do one more topic here. Let me just look through my little list here.
And I am best
Ah,
staff.
here we go. How about we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh staples? Let's say you're a brand new player, right?
Yeah.
What is the smart move to do? Is it to get the staples first and then get a deck, or vice versa? Like, which one is, I guess, supposedly better?
Okay, I want to kind of kick this one off because I feel that my answer is going to be the most controversial here, because I feel that maybe getting the staples is the best choice first.
Yeah.
So you can have
Yeah.
your collection of those on standby, and then whatever deck you make, you could just be like, oh, I have 3 of this, I have 3 of that, blah, 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 blah. Because I feel staples are genuinely more valuable than a deck itself. I mean, for the love of God, look at Nibiru. The guy's still like almost darn near $5 a copy for how many reprints this dude's got. Lava Golem.
Yeah.
Lava Golem being a common, it's like $10. Like, dude, yeah, staples are so much more in value than a deck. So I'd rather get those staples now than make the deck later. Because at least when I know in later times, all right, sweet. I have the staples to put in my deck that I'm going to play. Let's just say you're going to play Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes not Blue Eyes Chaos Max, but like a Chaos Blue Eyes build or something. Something completely random and generic. And you need your 3 Nibirus, your 3 Ashes, your 3 Effect Veilers, or whatever to make the deck.
You already have them.
Yeah, exactly. You have them on the ready.
Yeah.
Put them in the deck. Bam, boom. You're good.
Well, not only that, but it technically makes the game cheaper in the long run if you actually do the math a little bit.
Yeah, like looking
Especially
back,
if you buy a few of them to have in multiple decks.
like
Like,
looking,
you
Yeah.
can do it that way.
yeah, like looking back at it, Brandon, I actually have to admit I regret selling a lot of our staples that we did back then.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, I mean, during the
Oh, yeah,
time it
looking
was
back
fine,
at it.
but it's like, yeah, I just feel staples are very important.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, like, literally from now on, but especially between you and me, also here, if we get staples, we're not selling them. Even if they're selling at a high point, we're just not selling them.
No.
'Cause
Yeah. I
they're
fully agree with that, to be
priceless.
honest.
Like,
Like,
Like, hell,
they're
look at
far-
some of the old
Right.
ass staples, like Monster Reborn, Raigeki. They're still seeing play to this day.
especially like Change of Heart, when it came off, people were experimenting with Change of
Yeah.
Heart like it was no tomorrow.
Wait, it's
Exactly.
off?
Yeah, Change of Heart,
Yeah,
it's at
Change of Heart.
1.
Matter of fact,
Oh, I'm
change of
so
heart.
glad
Let's
I have a
see,
copy of that.
What's the highest rarity? For ultra rare, it's... Ooh.
What's my card?
Damn,
Open that
40
before.
fucking bucks. Holy hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's if you even own from the Dark Beginnings. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, hell, luckily for a common, it's only a couple cents, but...
It's usually always a couple cents for commons.
Well,
Usually.
there are some comments that are worth more than a couple
Like I just
dollars.
mentioned, Lava Golem.
Oh, I'm aware, but for majority of the common cards,
Yeah.
they're not expensive.
Yeah.
Although one card I have in my deck that's the only common card that's fucking pissing me off is a Light Hexfield Fusion.
He's always
it's the
mad
only
about
fucking
that.
card.
He's like, it fucks with my OCD or whatever it is.
It would bug me too, I'm not gonna lie.
Like between the main deck, side deck, and extra deck,
The only
Light
card in
Hexfield
this deck
Fusion
that's
is
not
the
shiny.
only card that's fucking common.
he wants it to be shiny. I don't blame him because I got into shinies. Whew.
Okay.
He's like,
So wait,
he's
are we all in
fucking with the
agreement
Aussie.
that the side deck is way more important than a main deck?
well,
Oh, yeah.
staples.
Yeah, Staples, sorry.
Staple. Oh my god. Yes.
Okay, so
Kill me
what
out.
about the other way around though? Like say someone came and asked you, which one do I want to do first? And let's say you do give the answer, well, buy the staples first. I know it's not sexy and all, but if you want to have fun with the game in the long term, you're gonna want to do this. 9 times out of 10, well, actually no, 7 maybe. Actually no, 9. I'll take that back again. They're gonna be like, I don't want to buy staples. I want to play this deck. I want to play this deck, and you're gonna be like, well, you can
bad.
if you have the.
can play it. But
You can
these
if
cards will
you.
help.
Yeah, these cards will help, but I mean, unless you have like so much freaking money that you don't know what to do with, get the staples first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Which, let's just be honest here, not all people make 6 figures a year.
Nope.
yeah. Like, when I bought my Ash Blossoms, I bought 6 of them.
Bruh.
Because at the time I wanted 3 of each artwork. That's why.
Oh.
So
I
I bought 3 of each artwork just to have the full playset of both. Because it's like, okay, which artwork do I want to use in what deck? And it does come in handy, to be honest.
Oh, actually, I do apologize. There's one other thing I wanted to mention before we end this video here. And actually, it is this topic. Toxic players being toxic in particular.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Well,
No
let me
comment.
give you an example.
No.
Okay, let's say you're in a duel and you're up against this toxic player, right? Now we all know there's different levels of toxicity,
Yeah.
but let's say he's that dude where he's like, what are you playing? And before you even begin, you say, oh, I'm playing Crystal Beast or something. You'll go,
Ooh.
oh my god, why are you playing that shit deck?
Oh, you fucking. Oh my god. I.
Yeah. Like, I will admit,
Ugh.
I'm kind of bad for that myself, but I know at the same time, it's like, people like to play what they want to play.
Let them be.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll think to myself, why are you playing this? The deck sucks.
Trust me,
Well,
I've done the same thing to
Yeah.
Yasuo a couple times.
I've done it to people before myself. I can't even lie.
I'll bug Crystal about that as much as I want. I know she'll
Hey!
keep playing it.
What'd I do?
Using decks that I find suck.
What, like my main one? Oh, you're so
Like-
mean.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to the next level. Okay, so let's say, okay, they go over that and it's just whatever. So they play. So afterward, basically, let's just say the Crystal Beast player doesn't get to play at all, or play very little because the dudes play, the best deck at the format or whatever.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Not trying to take it easy. I mean, let's say he's even new. Okay, let's make this to the most extreme
Yeah.
example. He's new. He's trying to play a deck that he just bought. And he's up against a meta deck where the dude's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just going to just kick your ass just because." And
Yeah.
on top of that, let's say afterward, he'll just say, "Oh, you suck. Get better, nerd," or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope. Yeah.
Like, people like that, it's like, why?
Why are you in the
guy's
game?
clearly new. Let him have his fun. Like,
Yeah.
like, yes, you're playing a meta deck and all that you find fun, but you're facing a guy that's new. Like, no.
Well, yeah, like for
Right.
me, when it comes to those toxic players, period, especially to newer players that want to actually play the game, yeah, it's ridiculous to act like that. Like, let's just say, I mean, I remember I tried teaching my cousins because they were interested when I started playing and how to
Yeah.
play the game, and at first they just I showed them, I tried to play it super easy with them, but
Yeah.
they just weren't that interested and didn't want to play. But people in like Discord,
Aw.
for example. I try to do my damnedest to play well with other people. Like if I'm playing seriously, I'm playing seriously. But if I know you're a semi or like a casual or like you're playing that fun deck. Yeah, I'm going to use a fun deck against you. I'm not going to use a super all-out beat your ass in like 5 seconds deck. I'm going to take
Papa.
I'm going to do my best to play at your skill level and help you learn as a player. I feel the trash talking and the absolute just belittling of other players.
It's unnecessary. Like,
Yes,
it's highly
yes.
unnecessary.
Completely unnecessary and rude. It's just,
Like,
there's no need for that. You can't,
Beyond disrespectful.
like, let's look at the Magic community, for example. Like, if you play pro or competitive in Magic, most times out of not, they're just as bad, if not worse, than a Yu-Gi-Oh! Toxic player.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, you're just, I mean, I get it. You're never going to avoid the toxicity. But for the love of God, you prideful sons of bitches, stop it. Let people enjoy this game and let this game grow for the generations to come. Because you're never going to let this game grow if you just keep holding back and continuously belittling other people.
Yeah.
Not only that, but keeping people out.
Exactly.
I'm a victim. Papa kills me when I'm trying to use a funny deck. Victim. Shut up, you!
Well,
Victim.
in your two's case, you two know each other. You guys play the
Yeah,
way you
that's
play.
different.
It's,
Yeah, that's different.
like,
That's
let's just say
different, yeah.
it's you going against a random guy on Nexus, ADO Pro, Dueling Book, or whatever. And they're just typing in chat like, oh, wow, you're playing this awful deck? Wow, you're such a noob.
well,
Oh, my God. Why are you
actually-
playing this combo? I would do this combo instead. Okay, that's it. I'm just going to kill you in one turn because you suck.
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
No,
here's the next thing. After you, Anna.
I'm so sorry. I've actually experienced that out of the thing where I'm mentioning Papa though. I was doing a ranked match and I was against somebody playing some weird deck. I don't remember what deck it was. This happened a long time ago. I was playing Gem Knight Anima. And of course I do love the deck because I built it on my own. But when I was popping off, they were like, "Oh, you're such a noob." Do note that I had OTK'd them and they apologized and I did not type in chat. Like, I'm not, no. You want to call me a noob just because I'm popping off far more than you are? I am not going to give you the satisfaction of typing in the chat just so you can, like, feel satisfied that, oh, they fell for it, blah, blah, blah. No. They called me a... Oh, even
Oh yeah.
remembering it has flared me up to the point where I just want to like take down anybody who thinks that my decks are just crap. Like, I don't care if I hate losing, but come on, I do like to play the game for fun, but when I started gaining a little bit of a competitive side, that's a different story.
Yep. Or like I had an experience the last week. I was playing a ranked match. It was probably maybe my 10th game in, and I'm comboing off wherever, and this one dude, and I beat his ass, of course I did, but he was complaining how, like, dude, like, if I just had this, or if the time was a lot shorter, you would not have won and all this, and I'm like, dude, how about you just chill? I mean, yeah, I get it, it's a ranked match, but just take the loss, go to the next one. I mean, I don't see what the problem is. He's like, no, you are a piece of shit. You were taking too long, even though I actually looked back on it. No, actually incorrect. I was performing a long ass combo because of literally what I had available, and he was only now. Of course, granted, I took maybe 3 minutes to get the whole thing off, not like 10 minutes for some people. Apparently for him, I was not quick enough to where he wanted I guess time was to go, and I'm just trying to tell him, saying, dude, chill. I mean, hey, at least I made it. He's going like, yeah, no, fuck you. I'm just gonna surrender to you. I don't want to play against this shit, and he just leaves. And I'm like, well, okay.
Well, that just comes to show that they know better because, well, they don't know better that duels, like ranked matches all the time, will not go their way. Like, you can't have a match go your way just because you want to play in ranked. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it's a card game. And I'm sorry, when I think of a card game, it's
for fun. Come on.
No, it's RNG. if we're talking about competitive RNG, the only skill, well, there are some minor things in IRL Yu-Gi-Oh that are skill based, but the main skill in like any card game is deck building.
Yeah.
That and maybe some decision making. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's still RNG. You could probably make the best decision at that moment, but the opponent has the out for it. Does that mean you suck? No.
No.
It just means, hey, you probably made the best decision that you could. Just unfortunately, they had the out to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like people who are like, oh, just because they had the out to what you had, that makes you bad. Even if the only decision you had was that, for example.
I mean, like Anna just said,
Yeah.
like she had examples of what happened to her. Like I know I've had a couple examples playing Dark Magicians before. I remember like back in 2019 or 2020, can't remember exactly when. I was going against the best deck at the time. I was playing Dark Magicians and I beat them, and they typed in chat saying, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just lost to Dark Magician."
And I've had people do that to me when I was playing Cyber Dragons. It's like,
yeah.
They're not
why
dead.
would I
They're
lose
just
to this? It's like the deck is dead. It's like, if it was dead, you just lost to it. How's it dead?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
And the next example,
You just don't know how to play the fucking deck.
And another example is like, I was going against Kashtira the other day, and I beat them one game, but they beat me the rest, and they're just like, I can't believe I got 2-1 by Dark Magician.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you surprised? Any deck can really be viable if you just put enough energy into it, if you draw right. Like, Dark Magician isn't the most consistent thing, let me tell you, but when it does get the good enough hand to combat it, yeah, basically screw you, man. I could beat you just as well as you could beat me.
Exactly.
You're just popping off, so
Like-
yeah, of course.
Well, I guess the main thing is that people are trying to say that RNG is a skill, which no, it is not. That's just literally how it is. Now, can you predict? Like, that is a skill, but at the end of the day, you can only predict so far that or how where the dice roll is gonna land on.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
you're not gonna win every single time. Like, I just hate when someone when I beat somebody and they're like, "Oh no, I should have every right to win this. I've been going on a 7-win streak." I'm like, dude, 1, nobody cares.
For real.
2, you're bound to lose at some point.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yes. Like, yes, you've got a win streak going on, but at some point, that win streak will fall. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my highest win streak was against Thunder Dragons. It was like 50-0. But a buddy of mine, he's the one that took my streak down. Like,
Side note, I plan on beating that streak for your pendulum streak as well, by the way.
But yeah, that's what I mean. I just think that's very
yeah.
annoying and toxic when people try to say that that RNG is a thing that makes you a good player. I'm like, no, it's decision making, deck building, and prepping for the event or the deck you're going up against, or just in general. That's the actual skill in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Like, and going back to the win streak I had with Thunder Dragons, yes, I'd flex the streak. It's like, I had Thunder Dragon players come at me. It's like, I bet you right now I can take you down. Like,
Bruh.
okay, you can try it, but bet you'll end up becoming part of a streak. And that is legit how my streak went from 20 to 50 in a matter of seconds.
Let's see. Well, there was another thing with Yasuo, especially once he started. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I also had a win streak against Yasuo once he started, getting competent in the card game and started getting used to the dance and everything, how the whole thing worked. And as soon as he finally beat me, instead of being like, "Oh fuck, I fucking lost to this fucking piece of shit," I was like, "Oh shit, he finally got me."
Yeah, like,
Nice.
take a shit ton amount of times Crystal lost to me over a span of 3 years before she finally beat me. Like, I didn't have the, oh fuck, I lost to her after beating her so many times. It was, holy shit, you actually beat me. I'm actually impressed.
Yeah, like, why can't players be like that where, you play for so long, you have a win streak, let's say you have a 10, 20, 30 win streak, then all of a sudden that one player comes up with the right right mindset, right deck build against your deck, and he beats you. Are you gonna get pissed off? You're maybe like for a second, but then you'll realize, hey, you know what? That was impressive.
Yeah, like how hard is it to give respect to your opponent after the game? Like, hey man, good plays, good game, bro. Shake the hand, you know. How hard is that? I don't think it's that hard to ask for something so simple in a card game that
lack of compassion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When the buddy of mine took down my Thunder Dragon win streak, I was annoyed that my streak was broken, but it's like, so what?
Yeah, it's just a win streak. I mean, it depends on how much value you put on top of it.
It won't do anything to your life, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like, the win streak was broken, but I can build it back up.
Yeah.
And he's the only one that has a Thunder Dragon deck that can beat that win streak, that I know for a fact.
Ooh.
Like, him and I know each other's decks like the back of our hands. I can pick up his Thunder Dragon deck and be able to use it as if it was my own. I've faced it that much.
Tundra.
And guess what? That makes you a better player, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, hell, him and I have actually switched each other's decks. Like,
oh, boy.
I used his Thunder Dragon deck against him. He's used my Cyber Dragon against me. And him and I thought of strategies the other wouldn't use.
Damn.
Now that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Right there. Now, anyway, as for a closing to this video, Yasuo, do you want to do the outro for me, please?
Absolutely. If you guys have enjoyed this video, this hour-long video, I hope you guys can just leave us a like. And also, for any other discussions or opinions that you want to leave it in the comments down below. And most importantly, hit subscribe to the Rising Uchiha channel so you can support us and also join the Discord down below. And we will all catch you later. Peace.
Yeah, subscribe because of a lolly.